we get into these debates whether or not we should keep them, and it's like humans have a natural desire to celebrate, right?
Mhm.
These the feast dates as they're given, this wasn't like Israel was a group of people who never had any celebrations and they were just, dull and miserable, and all of a sudden God came along and said, "Hey, I want you to start actually having a little bit of fun a couple times a year." No,
Mhm.
they people naturally celebrated at the harvest
Right.
times, right? And that's the feasts are very heavily connected with the harvests. And
Mhm.
so it's a natural time for people to celebrate, and God is not only saying, "Hey, during these times, remember me and celebrate. Let's celebrate not just celebrate Him, but it's celebrating human connection with Him,
Mhm.
right? It's about us together, not just about Him. Um, but it's also just this subtle message of, great, I want you to celebrate, but remember, I'm there with you, and so you've got to make your celebrations a sacred time. There's so many times where we we forget that God's there with us, right? We think, oh well, He's only here with us on Saturdays or Sundays or whatever the case may be, and then the other days of the week we forget that He's still there with us, and we don't act as those image bearers that we're called to be. And to me, that's one of those strong messages of the feasts is, even in the times where you're celebrating to an extent that you may get caught up in it,
Mhm.
you got to remember that he's there with us, and we've got to have that sacredness to those occasions too.
Yes, absolutely. And I know that we're not a real agricultural culture anymore. We don't, I mean, maybe in some parts of the United States they're out putting gardens in and taking care of animals and whatnot. We personally do have a garden and animals. And I know that when we got goats, the first time we had a new baby goat born, it was really emotional actually, because it was like, look at this life that the Lord has allowed us to be part of. It's like it came, it was born here in our barn, and this is life, and that is really growing, is going to be part of our flock, of our herd, I should say. And the same with our ducks and our chickens and even our garden. My husband, when he brings in basketful of tomatoes or basketful of fruits and vegetables, he's just like, look what the Lord has given us. And I think that's what it goes back to, having that mindset of how he has blessed us. And but we
Yeah.
don't really, we're not there.